here today. I am here for us to talk about dividing mixed numbers and fractions, okay? So maybe you've divided fractions together, but not necessarily the mixed number with a fraction. We're gonna do that today. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in. And for those people that like to solve the problems before I go over them with you, I'm going to give you a chance right now to pause your screen and do the problems, okay? All right, let's get started with problem number 1. So the first thing we have to do is turn this mixed number into an improper fraction, just so that we can actually do the division problem, okay? So that's what I'm going to do first. And how you make a mixed number into an improper fraction is by taking the denominator, which is 2, and multiplying it by the whole number, which is 4. So 2 times 4 is going to be 8. And then you add the numerator to that number. So it'll be plus 1. And you keep the denominator the same. So we're going to rewrite the problem, not solving it, just rewriting it so that everything is in just a fraction form, okay? So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to complete the fraction form, because 8 plus 1 is 9. And put the 2 up under it. And then 5 over 6, or 5/6. Now we're going to solve. So in order for us to solve, we first have to rewrite the first problem, the first fraction, excuse me. Then we're going to do what to the division sign? We're going to make it a multiplication sign. And once we do that, then we can flip this second fraction. And now we can solve the problem. Okay, now here's the thing that I would do. I'm going to check from one side to the other to see if any of these numerators and denominators have common factors. And actually 2 and 6 have common factors. It's going to be 1. So it's going to be 2 is the common factor. How many times does 2 go into 2? 1. And how many times does 2 go into 6? 3 times. And then I look at this numerator and that denominator across from each other and see if they have any factors in common, and they don't. So we're going to go ahead and solve from there. And we're going to do 9 times 3. What is 9 times 3? 27. And then we're going to do 1 times 5, which is 5. Now, if you didn't do this, what I did, where I reduced the numbers across from each other, that's fine. You just would have gotten bigger numbers, and then you would just have to simplify more, or it just takes a little bit more effort with the numbers, okay? So now we have this big improper fraction. That's the answer, but we cannot leave it that way. So now we have to make it into either a mixed number or a whole number. So I'm going to ask, how many times does 5 go into 27? And we don't have an even number that we can say, so it's not going to be a whole number answer, okay? But we do know that 5 times 5 is 25. So 5 can go into 27 at least 5 times, right? Now, 5 times 5 is 25, so we can take that 25 from the numerator. Once we do that, 27 minus 25, how much is left over? you have 2 left over, and the denominator you keep the same, which will be 5. So your answer will be 5 2/5. All right, let's get started with the second problem. So we are going to have to change this mixed number into an improper fraction. And if you remember how we did that, if not, it's okay, you're learning it. So we're going to take this denominator and times it by the whole number, okay? So 4 times 2 is 8. And then we're going to add the numerator. And we keep the denominator the same. Now the second one is already in fraction form, so we'll go ahead and just rewrite it. Now everything is coming together in fraction form. So I'm gonna write it one more time just with this actually completed. So 8 plus 2 is 10, and 4 in the denominator. So 10 over 4 divided by 3 over 5. Now, let's actually solve this problem. So the first thing we do is rewrite the first fraction. We're going to change the division sign to a multiplication sign, and then flip the second fraction, okay? Now, before we start, let's look at the denominator and numerator that are across from each other. See if they have any common factors. They don't. Not anything to make it smaller, the number smaller. How about this side? Nothing. So we're going to keep going. Just solve the regular way. 10 times 5. 10 times 5 is 50. And 4 times 3 is 12. All right. Now in this case, if you want to, you can simplify it while it's still in its fraction form, or you can make it into a mixed number, okay? So I just like to go ahead, sometimes depending on what the numbers look like. I'm not excited about these numbers necessarily. I mean, I could do it, but I think I prefer to put it in mixed number form first. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll do that, okay? So how many times does 12 go into 50? So I'm going to do 12 times 4. I think the answer is 4. So 2 times 4 is 8, and 4 times 1 is 4. And that's pretty close, right? So we will say that the whole number is 4. That's how many times the denominator will go into the numerator. 4 times. But we have some left over. And so 50 minus the 48. What's 50 minus 48? 49, 50. So you have 2 left over. So we're going to put that 2 in the numerator. And then you keep the denominator the same. All right, so ask yourself the question about that fraction part. If you didn't do it here, you could have simplified it here, but I just came over here and did it here. Now, can you simplify this fraction? You can, okay? So let's do it. So 2 is a good fraction. It's actually the greatest fraction that you, factor, not fraction, factor that you could use with these two. So I'm gonna put it here. So we have to ask ourselves, I'm gonna go ahead and put that whole number on the other side. But how many times does 2 go into 2? 1 time. And how many times does 2 go into 12? 6 times. All right. So that's our answer. Okay. Now just remember that you could have actually simplified here and got this answer. Okay. if you wanted to go through the factors here and simplify it there, you still would have had to change it into the mixed number form, okay? All right, so I hope that you actually understood that, and you feel like if you look at it a few times that you'll be able to go through that. But what I encourage you to do is to practice. More problems, more practice, so that you can get really good at it and do it really quickly. And after a while, you will be able to skip through certain steps you won't have to do. But I definitely encourage you to continue practicing. If you need help finding resources to help you with the practice, definitely reach out to your teachers and to your rap family. I'm sure they'll be happy to help you, okay? And in the meantime, make sure that you exercise your mind as well as your body, okay? And I look forward to hearing so much about you all doing really well with these division problems, okay? And I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.